It's the semifinal of Thursday Night Thunder, and Noah Belleville leads us to the line. 150 laps on offer tonight. These guys about to go green, about to take off. It seems like we've been driving road courses and right turns for forever. Back to the oval, back to what we're all about. Green flag is out at Phoenix. Brooklyn's Nick Pressey leads lap number 1. Noah Belleville to his inside wants to take that away as the points stand coming into this race. Noah Belleville with 9 wins, Nick Pressey with his 1 win coming into this round. 606 markers to Noah Belleville's. Oh, good Lord. We have ruined that, haven't we? All right. Try to bring these points back up, and I almost ruined the entire race. They call him Moldy. Noah Belleville's family cheering for him there. But yeah, 606 markers there to Nick Pressey's 1. And 553 points there. The big telling that Noah Belleville is going to be the Thursday Night Thunder champion before this one ends, and a record-breaking champion he will be. Already with the single-season win record for all-time wins, 9, and he's looking to go for 10 and possibly 11. And this is what happens when you keep teasing somebody. We just kept on picking on him about not running the full season, and he finally ran the full season, and look at him now. Southampton's Tom Sears in that 3rd position, up 3 places from where he started, and the new dad now getting those dad superpowers, and let's see what he can do. You know, they say once you become a dad, you pick up these dad powers, and let's see if being a dad makes him a better driver now. On the outside of number 94, Nick Pressey. And that's what happened to Curtis Jones as well. The English footballer became a father, now scoring goals all over the place. Emily talking about the Lions are playing tonight. I'm excited for the Lions as well. Being from Michigan, I do love my Detroit Lions. And it's about time that the Lions have a really, really good run as well. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen against the Packers. Really important game for us as well, you know. Could be a banana peel as well. You really can't count anybody out. That's one of the best things about football. So Emily's going to be keeping tabs on the score. We will too. So far, clean and green, 7 laps into this one. If you just tuned in, it's the penultimate race of Thursday Night Thunder. Kevin Feemster in the 1-7, now running behind Cody Pennell, who at one point, you expected him to be a Thursday Night Thunder champion, the native of Monroe. On the outside of the 1-7, Kevin Feemster, and you gotta love the reflective gold on that paint scheme. Oh, it's so good. Trauma talking about that sweet-looking Coca-Cola car. He must be mentioning the 1-6. The sophomore, Matt Seeger, rocking the Coca-Cola colors. Let's go on board with him. In that Rookie of the Year fight, Colin McDonough ahead of his rookie rival, Chris Fleming, in the 38. These two are going to battle it out for the 9th position. And then coming into this race, Colin McDonough driving that 39. He sits 8th in the points. Chris Fleming is 11th in the points. 428 to Chris Fleming's 366. So it looks like barring a catastrophe by the 39 car, that Colin McDonough is going to end up as your TNT Rookie of the Year. But this is racing. Anything is possible. And with Chris Fleming right behind him, he's still well within a chance to get this Rookie of the Year title. Grandma Jeannie in the house cheering for Noah Belleville as well. Car 41 jumps out to a 1-second lead ahead of Southampton's Tom Sears. Season 4 champion Thomas Andrews, he's in the hunt for position. To the inside of car 2-8, Cody Pennell. And the New Jersey pilot just tries. And it looks like he had a terrible exit out of the corner as well, because Cody Pennell just took off out of turn number 4. And Pennell comfortably running away with that 7th position. Lucky number 13 laps underway. All clean, all green. And the Gen 4s continue to spin around Phoenix. The second to last race of the season. Championship will be decided by the time the checkered flag flies tonight. Tommy Withers wants to continue climbing. Just because the championship is almost over doesn't mean there's not still pride to fight for. Withers is 7th into the points. Only 4 markers behind Thomas Andrews as well, and he can see that blue deuce up ahead. Cody Pennell fighting with the 2 of Thomas Andrews. Let's see what it looks like. I think Andrews just hit the wall, and now he's trailing backwards. McDonough goes inside. And Thomas Andrews now with a ruined right front corner on that race car. See if we can get I was going to say a closer look, but maybe just a better look at that right front fender. And watch this. We're going to get just to see what happened to the 2 car. Here he is chasing the 2-8. And this must be the lap prior, but somehow he just makes contact with the outside wall, and there's the right front fender. See if he can carry on, at least for the rest of the stint. The track facts will tell you the drivers expect to go about 50 laps on 1 tank of fuel. Further up ahead, Matt Seeger, Kevin Feemster, Nick Pressey, all in a fight. This is 4th through 6th. Pressey in 4th, Seeger in 5th. Kevin Feemster, the Indiana pilot, running in that 6th position. Let's go on board with the 17. You heard the throttle right there on the 17. And the lights come on, the track gets cooler, the drivers try to find grip where there may or may not be gripped. So Feimster has to watch out. He's got to be careful he doesn't outdrive himself going through these corners. 17, 16, running 6th and 5th respectively. Tommy Withers all over the back end of John Honeybrink. Let's go on board with the 2-0. Tommy Withers maybe trying to save fuel. You hear how he cuts the clutch in, just brings the revs in the engine to 0. And he's now just trying to go further, maybe trying to make this on 2 stops rather than 3. Could be the reason he's hanging out toward the back. Nick Pressey, he's up in the top 5, but is he getting any closer to Briley Wright, or is Matt Seeger just hanging out, biding his time behind that 94 car? This is the fun part here, where you start to kind of figure out who's on what strategy and where we're going to go with this. Again, about 50 laps is going to be the distance that they can cover on 1 tank of fuel. And we'll see if they can make the tires last that long. See if we can fast forward over here to the Packers and Lions. 7-0 Detroit in Detroit. Packers with the ball. And it looks like just 30 seconds to go in that first quarter. We're going to be covering the Packers-Lions score all night. If you're a Packers fan, let's talk about it. If you're a Lions fan, talk to the Packers fans. Matt Seeger's trying to talk to Nick Pressey. He says, how about giving me that 4th position? So he's going to sneak to the inside. Briley Wright in that 29. Oh, it looks like he just gave it a shake. Coming up through the dog leg, Tom Sears 1.4 seconds away, and Nick Pressey is actually within 0.8 to Briley Wright. And the sun, if you see, just over that iRacing horizon is starting to set, and maybe Nick Pressey's chances of winning this race are starting to set. What happened here to Pressey? Watch this. Oh, just loose out of turn number 2, and Nicky puts it in the wall. And just bad luck for Nick Pressey. Just the way he comes off that wall. He's now in 6th. He's 0.8 of a second behind Kevin Feimster. 28 laps underway from iRacing's Phoenix. And now switching positions. They almost make contact through the dogleg. John Honeybrink goes to the inside of Chris Fleming. And watch this again. John Honeybrink did. Now, who did what? Have a look. Oh, I think the 38 just got into the wall. He tried to come down on the 2-0 of John Honeybrink. And luckily, they didn't make any contact. And with a blue and white heart in the chat, Emily says the Lions are winning. It's 7-0. Let's go Detroit. And the Lions, it's hard not to think of the Lions not making it to the Super Bowl. Especially last season, coming off that division win, you feel that the Lions deserve more than just that. Definitely the NFC Championship, but of course, the playoffs are a long road. The Lions aren't guaranteed by any stretch of the imagination getting into that NFC Championship. They're not guaranteed to make it into the Super Bowl. The Lions have a lot of work to do, and it's one game at a time. And it seems funny now, Dan Campbell coming into that first press conference saying we're biting off kneecaps, but are we not? It's an impressive run, not just obviously physically and by the numbers, but I think just emotionally what he's brought to this Detroit team is so special. I don't think you can replicate that kind of passion. Maybe you can replicate not putting the car into the wall. Cody Pennell getting loose off of 2. And you start to see, if you look, drivers are getting loose off of the corner. The tires are wearing, the grip just isn't as sweet as it once was. Briley Wright, maybe he's proof of that. He's going high. Matt Seeger's going low. Seeger, who's maybe just been chilling out behind Briley Wright, is finally turning that screw. Let's go on board with the 1-6. And Matt Seeger's just 0.4 of a second behind. I'm sorry, 0.4 ahead of Briley Wright. The chase still continues for car 29. The 17 of Kevin Feemster. 2.5 seconds the gap between him and Briley Wright up ahead. And drivers possibly just getting spread out more, knowing that pit stops are 10 to 15 laps away. And how about drivers like Tommy Withers? Is he still putting the clutch in? Have a listen. Oh, he is. You love to see it. You love to see it. You love to hear it. You see that blue line go down when he puts the clutch in? Or that's the throttle, I'm sorry. But he's off the throttle, and you can just hear no noise from the engine. Tommy Withers on fuel conservation mode. And Tom Sears, 0.3 up ahead. Matt Seeger, 0.4 behind him. And 0.6 in the distance, Briley Wright. So second, third, and fourth lined up nose to tail. Taking a look at the Packers and Lions, still 7-0 from what I can see. And looks like the Packers, by these highlights, it looks like the Packers are just getting run over. Lions with the ball. It's going to be 1st and 10 on their own 44. Jared Goff will throw it for a first down, and now the Lions on the other side of the 50. Laporta with the catch. 1st and 10 with 14.5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. The Lions will continue to move forward. We have a change for the lead. Tom Sears wants to get around first. He will come into the pits, and now Matt Seeger is your new leader in car 16. Nick Pressey comes back onto the track just 1 lap off the pace, and he goes purple, 27-11. Nick pitted on lap 33. Matt Seeger has not pitted. 8th on down, all into the pits now. Let's swap this up here. We'll see what difference that makes. Probably absolutely nothing, but that's okay. Matt Seeger, Cody Pennell running 1-2. And the 2-8. Running 6 seconds ahead of John Honeybrink, and arguably one of the faster drivers, now coming up behind that 28 car. Noah Belleville, he pitted on lap 37. So quick math will tell you he's also going to pit on lap 74. And then another 37 laps from that gives him 111. So he's on a 3-stop. And in practice, drivers were talking about that 3-stop strategy. So I'm interested to see if that's what they're going to employ. But of course, if a caution comes out, all of that goes right out the window. 27-21, Noah Belleville just put in his personal best. And it's Seeger who still leads, the Georgia pilot in the 1.6 Coca-Cola machine. 10 seconds ahead of John Honeybrink, who is also not pitted. Tommy Withers has also not pitted, and Belleville has gone purple. 27.09 seconds, and the soon-to-be Thursday Night Thunder champion, fastest of all, 42 laps into this race. Honeybrink in that 2.0 NVIDIA machine. I always screw up with that, and I did look this up because I was pronouncing it wrong for the longest time. It is NVIDIA. He sits in second, praying for the caution, same as Tommy Withers, but how far will they make it? Is the Virginian on the way in? The Virginian stays out. 3 cars just went green. Tom Sears, 27-24. Kevin Feemster, 27-26. Thomas Andrews, 27-61. You're going to see their best times right under those names. John Honeybrink brings it in, and it's a unique pit road at Phoenix. Matt Seeger will show you. He comes in off of turn number 2, and it's an incredibly long crawl. Tommy Withers, on the other hand, is he coming in? He stays out, and Tommy Withers will be your new leader. And Matt Seeger moving at a painfully slow rate. How fast is he going? Says 90 miles an hour. Was he speeding? He was going at a ludicrous speed. It said 90-some miles an hour. Or did I get that wrong? I have no idea. Looks like he overdrove the pit stall there. He's finally down. Tommy Withers is your new leader, now moving at, what, 109, 110 iRacing miles an hour. And Noah Belleville, 7 seconds behind him. So not quite 50 laps, but 46 now, about to be 47 laps. He'll get some recognition for leading a portion of this race. And the battle for what will be second place is on, because Tom Sears is all over the back end of Nick Pressey. Sears takes it to the inside. This is going to be for third, but what will soon be second after Tommy Withers comes in. Drag race down the back straight. Pressey, you see he continues to get loose off of turn number 2. And that 94, he's already hit the wall 1 time. Hopefully he doesn't do it again, but have a look. This is Nick Pressey earlier in this race, lap 26. Matt Seeger behind him. Pressey loose by his lonesome, and the left-hand side of the Chevrolet gets into the inside wall. Tom Sears marches on with the 3rd position. Briley Wright now wants a piece of that 94. And Briley will try to make the high side work for him. He almost makes contact with the 94, but he will sneakily skate around as Emily, ever so kind with the update there. Lions 10, Packers 0, and they just get a bit louder in Detroit. And again, you feel the juice, you feel the mojo. Tom Sears feels like he just hit the right side of his race car against the wall. Maybe I'm imagining things, but I thought I saw a spark come off the right-hand side of that race car. 4/10 the gap. Tommy Withers is finally into the pits. On lap 51, so he does go that far. Now, if Tommy Withers can continue saving fuel the way he has done, he can make this a 2-stop race. Now, granted, he's going to need to be faster than he has been because the math already shows you that Noah Belleville would have overtaken him at that point before he came into the pits. That being said, see, Tommy Withers is entering, well, no, he entered the pits earlier here. Yeah, and there's Noah Belleville getting around Tommy Withers as he's just coming into the pit, so really close timing. Withers is going to have to go just a bit faster but save a little more fuel if he wants to really make this a two-stop race. But we've got fewer than 100 laps remaining, and at 28 seconds a lap, well, 27 actually, look at this, yeah, 28.43 last time for Noah Belleville, but at 28 seconds a lap, these next 100 laps are going to go relatively quickly here. Fleming's in the wall, the two-time winner, once at Daytona, once at Talladega. And John Honeybrink, another Talladega winner, goes to his left-hand side. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, his only Talladega, it was only a Thursday Night Thunder win in 9 seasons of competition. Season 5, I think, at Talladega. Winner with the entire field wrecking behind him. And the same goes for this guy here, Chris Fleming in the 38. Winner at Talladega when the field wrecks behind him. And at Daytona, winner when the field wrecks behind him. Hey, right place, right time. Take nothing away from my man Chris, the Riverhead native, with 2 Thursday Night Thunder wins, and nobody is ever going to take that away from him. And in pretty special fashion as well. He's putting on a good show with John Honeybrink. This is 11th place up for grabs. Kevin Feemster and Cody Pennell are also going to duke it out. 5th and 6th on the line. Pennell to the inside of that 1-7. And that classic 28 Haviland Ford now chasing down Nick Pressey for the 4th spot. Pennell all over the back end of Nick Pressey. Will he look to the inside to get the spot? 4th place on the line. Pressey tries to defend, and Pennell has the advantage into turn 4. And Pressey just beats him to the line. Matt Seeger behind them now, on board with the 1-6. Will he make it 3 wide in turn 3? He will. They go 3 wide through turns 1 and 2. Pennell comes out with the position, and it's a drag race between the Chevy and the Ford. And now the 2 Monte Carlos side by side will race. Kevin Feemster sits behind them, and Cody Pennell finally comes away with the 4th position. Nick Pressey looks to go to the low side. Kevin Feemster also cutting the dog leg a bit close. It is not out of bounds like you would think at Daytona and Talladega. The dogleg is fair play. Drivers have been warned to run the dogleg at their own risk. And if you're sitting there thinking, what the hell is the dogleg? Watch this. This big empty patch on the right-hand side of your screen, on the bottom side of your screen now. All of that you see down there is fair game. Noah Belleville will show us right now. On board with the 41. All of that to the left-hand side. They can run. Now, the reason why you don't see a lot of drivers running down there is because it upsets the weight on the car. These cars have very little grip as it is, and all it takes is one lack of concentration, or you steer it too hard, or the car shakes too much, you've spun around, you could get T-boned by another car, and there goes your race. So drivers need to be careful using that dog leg, and again, drivers have been warned, use it at your own risk. Kevin Feemster might just use it now, coming on the inside of Nick Pressey. 94 is going to squeeze down to the Indiana pilot. The 17 DeWalt Ford will tuck in behind car 94, and Nick Pressey survives with 6th place for now. Inside the final 90. '94 and the 17 still nose to tail. Where does Feemster go on this one? To the left. He shakes and he loses all that momentum out of the corner. You heard the blip in the throttle. Kevin giving it just a little too much out of turn number 2, but he'll try again. He'll be back. If you just tuned in, you have not missed a thing. Clean and green for all 65 laps in tonight's race so far. And drivers expected to go approximately 40 to 50 laps on one tank of fuel, according to the Drip Diecast and Collectibles. Track facts. That pit window started on lap 33 with Nick Pressey, and it ended on lap 50 with Tommy Withers. Cody Pennell is in the pits again. It is the second pit stop for the 28 car, 67 laps into this race. Nick Pressey, 0.3 of a second ahead of Kevin Feemster, and Tom Sears is only half a second ahead of Briley Wright. Here he is getting around Tommy Withers. Or Withers, perhaps, getting around Tom Sears, as the 60 car does have fresher tires. Now, here's the advantage for Tommy Withers. His tires, as he uses the dog leg, are, look at that. Look at how the 60 car just almost lost it. He almost upset the car. You saw him shake, and he's really giving it everything now, but how far is he planning to make it? Tommy Withers, his tires are 12 laps more fresh than Tom Sears. Does he use it to his advantage, or does he stay on the fuel-saving strategy? Listen to the engine. There's the clutch, bringing the revs down as low as possible, and here's the throttle. Listen again. Riley Wright to the inside of Tom Sears. Man, that was brave. So Tommy Withers still on the fuel-saving strategy. Tom Sears just not trying to give up second place. Noah Belleville is a ludicrous amount of seconds ahead in this race. I have no idea how he does this. His future plans include not racing TNT in Season 10, to the relief of so many drivers. And that was the thing at the end of Season 7. Aiden Norman had won 3 championships in a row, Seasons 5, 6, and 7. He left, and then Jacob Prince ran his rookie season in Season 8. He won a lot of races, but Noah Belleville also won a lot of races as well. He didn't just walk away with the championship. Noah Belleville, on the other hand, is walking away with this championship. There's the gap. Car 41 has a 606-point lead to Nick Pressey's 555. And on the hunt for his 10th win. He's already got the single-season record. He's just bragging at this point. But still, plenty of race to go. I don't think we've even hit halfway yet. 72 laps underway, so halfway is when we cross lap 75. Matt Seeger, Briley Wright, Tom Sears, all of them just with really good battles right now, but they've got to save their stuff because pit stops are just around the corner. Cody Pennell looks like he's out of this race. He's going to call it quits on lap 63. We'll see if he rejoins later. Looking at that Packers-Lions game, it's 2nd and goal for Green Bay. 5:55 as the clock ticks down. Lions up 10-0. They're going to hand it off. It's a fake, and that's going to end up incomplete as well. So 3rd and goal for the Packers. Clock stops at 5:49 in the second quarter. Tommy Withers. This is his time to shine while everybody else is going to come into the pits. Withers has to get a move on. These guys still fighting hard with each other. Matt Seeger is going to get around Tom Sears, and the 1-4 now on the inside of car 29. They're going to fight for 3rd. Looks like it's going to be, I'm sorry, I've got one eye on this Lions game here, and the ball's intercepted in the end zone, but I think 3 officials threw flags, and it looks like pass interference on somebody. We're going to find out, and it might just be a new set of downs for the Packers. 76 laps underway, and Moldy Muskrat in the chat talking about Noah Belleville, who's currently in the pits. Next year, he's going to be off to college, and if you didn't know, he is quite the musically talented sim racer. Some recent accomplishments. He was sharing with us earlier about getting into an ensemble, and it's really, really exciting stuff. We're all really, really proud of him, and we hope he's going to do really well at college, and we hope he never bothers us by winning a single race ever again. And the call in this Lions-Packers game is pass interference on the Lions, so it's going to be, what, half the distance to the goal and a new set of downs for Green Bay. So it's going to be 1st and goal for the Packers, and we'll see what happens. 77 laps, now 78 laps as Matt Seeger crosses the line. Noah Belleville's in the pits, so Matt Seeger's now your new leader. And remember, Seeger did not pit until lap 45. That'll tell you, as the Packers score a touchdown, that Seeger may not pit until lap 90. However, the chase is on because Noah Belleville has just unlapped himself. He runs in 8th, and he's got fresh tires after pitting on lap 75. This last time around, 27:34 on the clock. Matt Seeger, 28:37, so almost 1 second a lap is the difference between Seeger and Belleville. Chris Fleming and John Honeybrink separated by 1/3 of a second. Colin McDonough, the rookie, now trying to get up to Tom Sears. Kevin Feemster decides he's going to bring his DeWalt Ford in. And Belleville just went purple. Of course he did. 27:07, fastest lap of the race. This kid's a monster. He's an animal, and he has put this entire field to shame. And, well, Nick Pressey's just put Noah Belleville to shame by 2/100ths of a second. 27:05, personal best for Brooklyn's Nick Pressey. "70 laps to go. We're on the back 9 at Phoenix. In the semi-final, Tom Sears and Colin McDonough will also come into the pits. John Honeybrink with a mirror full of Chris Fleming. And the Season 4 champion, Thomas Andrews, he pitted on lap 76, and he's been quiet most of the night. But when it comes to fuel strategy, this is a driver that you have to count in. Season 4, the inaugural iRacing season, and this guy took like a duck to water, only winning 1 race in that season, the season opener at Rockingham. However, the consistency he had in Season 4 took him all the way to the championship. And I think the same happened with Matt Kenseth as well in 2003. I think he only won 1 race. Well, he almost wrecks the car, Thomas Andrews does. But Matt Kenseth, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Kenseth only won one single race, but he still ended up being the Winston Cup champion in 2003. Matt Seeger's your race leader. Briley Wright is in second and in the pits. Noah Belleville is about to take the second position away from him, and it's a 20-second gap between Belleville and Seeger, and you expect the Georgian to be into the pits within the next 7 laps. I just love the sound of a V8, don't you? Matt Seeger still in the lead, 17 seconds back to Noah Belleville, but of course Seeger has yet to pit. Tom Sears just went purple, 27 seconds flat. Not even, 26.998. So Tom Sears, the first driver to run a time under 27 seconds. 2/10 quicker than Briley, right ahead of him. I'm really interested to see how this one's going to work out. Sears shows speed, but can he keep that speed up? Chris Fleming also went green, 27.14. .88 laps underway at Phoenix. Matt Seeger still leading this race and probably coming into the pits either this next lap or the lap after that one. Tommy Withers losing the position there. Well, no, he's going to gain the position on John Honeybrink. And the 20 car is going to come in. So Noah Belleville still in second. 14 seconds the gap between himself and the Georgian. And I think this previous week, Matt Seeger was telling us as well about a new steering wheel that he's got, new racing equipment that he's got. He also comes into the pits at the speed of sound. And I'll be surprised if that's not a speeding penalty. That was ridiculously fast. Hopefully he didn't attack pit lane too much. And here comes Noah Belleville, the pride of DeSoto, Missouri, who's going to take over the lead from Matt Seeger. And it's going to be 60 laps to go. Withers in the 60, Pressey in the 94. Tommy Withers, expect him to pit within the next 10 laps as well. Although here's what's interesting. If Tommy Withers pits within these next 10 laps, the math will tell you he's got a shot at a podium finish, although it's going to be extremely close because he needs to make it at least to lap 101 to guarantee a 2-stop race, but that's if it goes green all the way to the end, and we have no idea if that's going to happen. But if it goes green all the way to the end, Tommy Withers has a shot at a podium. But it also depends on how fast he decides to move as well. Because he can save all the fuel he wants. If he doesn't move fast enough, he's not going to finish anywhere near the top 10. Looking at the Lions and Packers, the Lions have the ball again. It's 10-7. Detroit leading Green Bay with 3.5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Lions now on the Green Bay side of the field, and it looks like they just picked up a first down, so it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 30-something. Trying to make this one 17-7 before the half. 16 seconds between first place and second place. Briley Wright in the 29. 1 second ahead of Nick Pressey, who's only half a second ahead of Tommy Withers, who's a quarter of a second ahead of Tom Sears. The Massachusetts pilot now trying to get around the Winn-Dixie Ford. And he will. The two-time Thursday Night Thunder champion comfortably in that 4th position. Tommy Withers in the 60 car, now 1 second behind, and of course that's just the tires wearing down. Tommy Withers has not pitted in 46 green flag laps. Using that dog leg, and he keeps the car moving in one solid piece. I'm afraid every time he comes up off that dog leg, you see how violently the car just bounces on the suspension. And look at how sideways he got there. Those tires are shredded, but he's trying to go all the way to 101. He's got another 4 laps to make it. He can do it if he's been saving the way he needs to save fuel. Nick Pressey, a quarter of a second ahead of Tom Sears. This is the battle for the bronze medal position. (94-14), the Bristol winner, ahead of the two-time champion. And not just in stock cars, but if you were with us on Tuesday as Nick Pressey grinds against the wall, he won in not Thursday Night Thunder, a Winter Indy on Tuesday. We were driving the Indy cars at Road America, and he comes away with an impressive win after some really good battling with Carmen Hardy. So now we've got the Indy cars at Iowa on Tuesday in that semifinal, and the final race of Thursday Night Thunder at the Darlington Raceway. That's going to be next Thursday. We're going to call it quits on Season 9 and back in January for the 10th season of this very special competition. .50 laps to go in this race, and if it goes green, about another 25 minutes of racing for us to enjoy. After that second round of green flag pit stops, drivers really spread out. So now it is going to come down to management. Who has the best grip on their equipment? And over the last 5 laps, Matt Seeger has been trying to get grips with the car in front, and he has. Last time around, 1 second quicker than Nick Pressey. This time around, 0.6 quicker than Nick Pressey. Seeger's coming. He can pull all of this together. .4 the gap between Matt Seeger and Nick Pressey. Looks like the Lions and Packers are back with a $1:53 to go in the first half. Jared Goff in the shotgun. will throw a quick flat out on the 20-yard line, and look at that all the way. It's going to be 1st and goal on the 4. Laporta gets a catch 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage and runs it up almost to the end zone. 1st and goal now for Detroit. Matt Seeger finally gets around Nick Pressey in the Coca-Cola machine. Textbook pass by the 1-6. Have a look. Clock winds beneath 1:15. Jared Goff in the shotgun again. There's motion in the backfield, and they're going to try and run it up the middle. A gain of 2, 3, 4 yards, and there's a scrum at the bottom. 2nd and goal for Detroit with about 1, maybe half a yard remaining until they hit pay dirt. And I'm so fixated on that Lions game, I completely had no idea there's a battle for 3rd. That's how focused I am on this one. Matt Seeger in the 1-6 on the inside of that 14 card. Tom Sears in the ELM Supra doesn't quite give way to the Coca-Cola Chevrolet. 45 laps to go. Matt Seeger trying to hold on for 3rd. Tommy Withers pitted on lap 101, and he just put in his quickest lap of the night. 27:54 for the Winn-Dixie Ford. And what do you think? You hear the engine cut off again. Where do you think Tommy Withers is going to be? This is Tommy Withers leaving the pit lane. And there's Noah Belleville coming around turn number 2 here. So Belleville now coming up behind Colin McDonough there, but that's not for position. Tommy Withers is 2 laps off the pace, but through no fault of his own, Noah Belleville is just that fast. But Belleville has another pit stop remaining. If Belleville goes 50 laps from when he pitted, he'll end up hitting on lap 125. But take a look at the stint length for Noah Belleville. 38 laps on that 2nd stint. So the trend will tell you if he goes 39 laps from when he pitted on lap 75, he'll be pitting on lap 114 with about 35 laps to go. We'll see. Belleville, about 4 laps from another pit stop. That's when Tommy Withers needs to get a move on. He needs to put his foot down while the green flag cycles are going on. However, he may need to save more at the end of this race. There's so many variables to look after. It's a tricky one. You can't just go with one strategy. You have to have a backup plan. Let's see if the Lions need a backup plan for scoring points here. It's going to be 3rd and goal for Detroit. 10 plays and 4, almost 5 minutes of time chewed up on this drive. Tommy Withers continues to save fuel. Tom Sears, 0.7 of a second ahead of Nick Pressey, and the distance of the football to go. Pressey, does he press more for 4th? Is he content with where he's sitting? He's getting closer. 0.6 of a second, that gap. Briley Wright not necessarily able to pull away from Matt Seeger. That last sector was quickest. But Seeger's there. 0.8 the gap. Jared Goff under center. They're going to try to run it in, and they will not get there. It's going to be 4th and goal for Detroit on the 2-yard line. They lost a couple of yards. And 50 seconds and then some continues to tick down on the Lions clock. We'll see if they try to set up for a field goal or if they're going to go for it. Packers holding their own and a good goal line stand there. Noah Belleville has decided to pit. Tanner Lockhart's in the chat cheering for Matt Seeger, who's in third. He's staying out. The race leader is in. Kevin Feemster is in, and Colin McDonough is in. Briley Wright in second. Matt Seeger behind him. Your new leader is car 29 in that Good Wrench Icebreakers Chevrolet, and the Coca-Cola machine behind him now starts the battle for first. On board with Matt Seeger. Well, and Matt Seeger didn't make it that much of a battle. Man, he just peeled around Briley Wright without even trying. New leader, car 16, Matt Seeger. And Briley Wright behind him. Seeger now pulling away while the green flag pit stops are going on, and this could be his strategy to try and, just gain further, maybe attack pit road better. Lions are going to go for it on the 2-yard line. 4th and goal. Jared Goff in the shotgun. Motion to the outside. Goff drops back, and he throws it, and it's a touchdown. It's going to be 16-7 Detroit over Green Bay with 11 seconds to go in that second quarter. Tanner Lockhart cheering on Matt Seeger. He says, "Come on, kid." Seeger last pitted on lap 90. If you take a look at his stint lengths, 45, 45. He's on the 25th lap of this stint. So the math will tell you. Matt Seeger, he's either got, if he goes another 45 laps, he's going to end up on 135. So he's either going to pit with 15 laps to go, or he needs to short pit. Again, just anything is possible, and I don't know what he's thinking, so we're going to find out. Noah Belleville just went green, 27.01, his personal best. Tom Sears, the only driver to put in a best time under 27 seconds. I know it says 27 flat, but Sears really did 26.998. McDonough, green, 27.13 for Colin. Noah Belleville, 18 seconds behind Matt Seeger. But of course, Seeger has to pit. Belleville does not. And if the yellow comes out now, it's going to ruin a lot of guys' strategy. But drivers are spread out far enough that you wouldn't expect that to happen. John Honeybrink losing ground fast to Tom Sears, who's on a mission now. He pitted on lap 114. He's good to go to the end. John Honeybrink, Matt Seeger, the only drivers who still have not pit. Lions will kick the ball off to the Packers with 11 seconds to go, and this one's going to be a touchback. We'll see if the Packers decide to do anything with this or if they just decide to run it out. 30 laps to go. Wright goes green, 27.03, his personal best. And the cars have just gotten faster. Obviously, as the sun has gone down, the track's gotten colder. There's been more grip. More rubber has been laid into the track. But the cars just have been getting faster and faster and faster. And look at Chris Fleming. He went around the 38 car. Is he just going to jump to the pit lane? He does jump to the pits immediately. 38 smacks the wall outside of turn number 4. And, oh, wow. He really smacked the wall there. And he does jump to the pits immediately. Right along. And the two-time Thursday Night Thunder winner. Now into the pits. You know who else is into the pits? Matt Seeger. Trauma's in the chat saying, does anybody else thirsty? Do they need a Coke? I think I need a Coke. And it's actually funny you mentioned that. I've got a Diet Coke next to me right now. No, there's nothing subliminal about that advertising at all. So the Coca-Cola driver comes into the pits. Noah Belleville will now take over the lead again inside the final 30 laps of racing. Belleville with a 17-second gap to Briley Wright, and it's been ridiculous. what Noah Belleville has done tonight, this season, and what he will continue to do if he ever gets to sit in an iRacing sim rig again. Emily says, Coke sounds pretty good right now, cheering on for her brother who's going to come out of the pits. He's going to rejoin the race in the 5th position. Tommy Withers, who pitted on lap 101, will look to stretch his fuel all the way to the end, another 25 laps. So Withers' strategy might just have bit him. So a podium out of the question, a top 5 out of the question as well, and he just needs to hold on and hope that he can make it on 2 stops. He's about to go a lap down. Or hope that a caution comes out at this exact time. $25 miles remain at Phoenix. Noah Belleville on course for double-digit wins in this 16-race season. Just unprecedented dominance. I know we say it again and again, but it's about to be 4 out of the last 5 seasons. Just dominated by the 2 most successful drivers in Thursday Night Thunder. Aiden Norman, the only driver to win 3 consecutive championships. Noah Belleville has the all-time win record with 23 wins now, I believe. This is going to be number 24 if he can hold on for another 24 laps. Matt Seeger and Tom Sears. Back to more interesting debates on the racetrack. Those two are starting to get closer. Sears being reeled in by that Coca-Cola machine. Let's see what the 14 has to defend. $16 to the inside. This is for that 5th position. Seeger to 4th, Sears in 5th. Kevin Feemster and Tommy Withers, the 2 Tauruses side by side. Feemster on the outside. I said 2 Tauruses. One's a Fusion, isn't it? I see that 17 paint scheme and I just think 2003 Ford Taurus. Feemster will daintily try to squeeze around car 60, and he will just barely make it. Those 2 wiggling down the back straight, trying to avoid contact. Feemster finally clears the 60 car, and Tommy Withers trying the 2-stop strategy, and now running the dog leg, and he's going to be in conservation mode for the rest of the race. If you didn't see a couple of weeks ago, in the Winter Indy Series, a couple Tuesdays ago, he ends up winning that race at Indianapolis by 1/100th of a second. It is on the Rick James TikTok if you want to go check that out. Wink, wink. Go check out the Rick James TikTok. Check out that video of Tommy Withers winning that race. A huge last lap crash left 3 cars to decide the end of that 50-lap shootout. It was so much fun to watch. 2:0 to go, and it's going to be 1-9 at the line when when Noah Belleville crosses the line. Tommy Withers, wishes he was crossing the line for 19 to go. He is watching Kevin Feemster peel away, and that's what just worn tires will do to you. 1.5 seconds now the gap between Feemster and Withers. Meanwhile, Nick Pressey a little bit closer to Briley Wright. 3 seconds the gap between them. Pressey trying to just get more points, trying to solidify his 2nd place finish in these standings. 30 points is the gap between Nick Pressey and Briley Wright, and Briley's going to need every last chip he can get to get that 2nd place prize money, but that's why you race. That's why we figure these things out to see who's going to come out and end up on top. Matt Seeger to the inside of Nick Pressey. This is going to be for that third position. Seeger in the bronze medal slot for now. Will they make contact? They don't. And the 16 slides away from that 94. And over the last 5 laps, Matt Seeger has been just ticking off the time to Briley Wright. 3.3 seconds is the gap. And with 15 to go this time by, if Matt Seeger is taking off a couple of tenths at a time, he might just get there before this one's over. That new steering wheel has to be doing him some sort of good. He's getting closer, though. If you've seen his progression from last season when he was a rookie to this season, now that he's a sophomore, he's only getting faster, and with this new equipment, you hope he's finally going to start winning some races because he has tried. He has put in that effort. And one of these days, it's going to pay dividends for Matt Seeger. Guaranteed. $14 laps to go next time by. Caution free for the last 136 laps of competition, and hoping to go the next 14 without a yellow. And that's what Thursday Night Thunder prides itself on. Is caution-free racing. There's a respect, there's a pride to being able to go this distance without a single caution coming out. One more time, if we did not mention it earlier, although we're towards the end of the season, the racing does not stop. The Indy cars at Iowa on Tuesday, and then the season finale of Season 9 next week at Darlington. And we need to support the people that support us. And we talk about the good folks over at Drip Diecasts and Collectibles. They have an impressive catalog of race cars to admire and to collect. If you love any of the paint schemes that you've seen tonight, just for the nostalgia, like the Blue Deuce, for example. This rare gem that I completely forgot existed, that Briley Wright is racing. How about the Target Chip Ganassi Dodge of Noah Belleville, albeit without the dent on the right front side? Who doesn't love Mark Martin? How about a Tommy Withers, well, not a Tommy Withers diecast, but a Mark Martin diecast that in iRacing here is being driven by Tommy Withers. All of these amazing diecasts you can find on Drip Diecasts and Collectibles. Check them out. They're your #1 eBay and Facebook store for all sorts of NASCAR memorabilia and more. Drip Diecasts and Collectibles, your #1 eBay and Facebook store for all sorts of NASCAR memorabilia. We got a link around here somewhere for this. Hang on just one second. Let me go ahead and pop that in. See what we can get here. But of course, again, it's just important to support the people that support us. That's what we want to do week in and week out. We'll put that in the Twitch chat for you. Drip Diecast and Collectibles. ebay.com/str/drip diecasts. It's going to be 8 laps to go this time. The race is winding down. And I bet for the rest of the field, they're thinking, thank God this thing is almost over. Noah Belleville with a 15-second lead over Briley Wright, just putting a whipping on him. And here comes Matt Seeger, who's looking to take silver away from the Kentucky pilot. The Georgian in the Coca-Cola machine, coming up behind the Kentucky driver in the blue Icebreakers car. Let's go on board. It'll be 5 to go. Next time by. Second place up for grabs between Briley Wright and Matt Seeger. Validation coming for the driver of the 16 car. Maybe not a win tonight, but he just gets closer and he gets a bit faster. This is proof for him, and the cherry on the icing would be a second place finish tonight. He chases down that 29 of Briley Wright. It will be 4 laps to go next time by. Thomas Andrews in the distance. Seeger is there. And the 16 tries to line up the pass on car 29. 3 to go next time by. And Seeger gets closer. He inches just a little bit closer into the bumper of Briley Wright. He can smell the fumes off the 29. Seeger to the left-hand side, but he won't make it stick out of 2. He's got the advantage into turn number 3. Can he make it stick this time? Doesn't quite use that dog leg, but he's going to get close. Matt Seeger on the left-hand side. Briley Wright will squeeze him down. He will not make it easy for the 16. 16 will ride up the track, scrub off some speed, right with the advantage, and he will use the 20 for some sort of draft, but will the 16 then use that NVIDIA Chevrolet as a pick? White flag next time by. Seeger's got him. Matt Seeger into the second position, and now he's got to hold on. Wright might try it the hard way around the outside. Will he use? No, he shakes it. Briley Wright loose out of the second corner, and that might just do it for him. One more shot. He gives it a big blink. Matt Seeger collects the white flag, and it's half a second between them. Noah Belleville will continue to break the record and set the record further. 10 wins on the season for the Missouri pilot. One more move for Briley Wright, and, well, Briley's too far at this point, but what a drive by Matt Seeger. Well done for the Georgian. He will come home in the second position. Briley Wright, after 150 laps, will come home in third. Noah Belleville, once again, a winner in TNT. Noah Belleville does his thing, and he's going to go ahead and disappear so we can get these podium interviews underway. Great racing. We're going to collect Briley, Matt, and Noah. We're going to talk about this one and put it to bed. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment. on the podium with our top three. Let's start with our bronze medalist, Briley Wright. Briley, take me through that battle there at the end, because that was something really special to watch.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty frustrated after that one. I thought I had the right pit strategy, but I didn't. I tried to take his line away whenever he caught up to me, and once I realized I couldn't take his line away, I pretty much just had to let him go right there at the end. I saved so much tire backing up and letting him get to me, and as soon as he got to me, like I had nothing to give. I thought for sure he would have been pushing really, really hard to get to me, but I assumed that he probably didn't have to push that hard to get to me, and I don't know, just can't get these things figured out, and I don't know what to do.
Well, the track seemed frustrating for everybody. Let's talk to Shotgun Seeger. Matt, from here, it looked like a really, really fun battle to watch. You getting around Briley Wright. And unofficially, headed into the final race of the season, you and Briley are tied for third in points with 567 markers. What's this final race going to shape up like?
It's going to be difficult. Briley's bringing his A game the last few weeks, and I've had to match it. Darlington's not easy, but I like that. I like the hard tracks. I feel like I do better at the hard tracks. So, yeah, just got to basically do the same thing next week, and hopefully I'll come out with third.
We heard about your new steering wheel this week as well, and I guess you've put it to good use already with that silver medal. Now, let's talk to Noah Belleville as well. Moldy, this kid was just coming up all race long, and then you even had your own battles coming up through the field. Was it as easy as you made it look, though?
No, these races aren't ever easy because this car is just so hard to drive. But yeah, after that first pit stop, I kind of got a pretty good gap, and I just kind of had to manage it from there. And it wasn't the hardest race.
So next week at Darlington, I mean, is it going to be the same focus? 11 wins, trying to set the record further. Or are we going to just kind of screw around now that the season's over?
No, I'm gonna try and go for 11, but last season I didn't. I kind of did well there, but didn't quite shape up at the end. I think actually Briley's our defending winner there at Darlington, so that's something to keep an eye on for that battle for third. But yeah, I'm gonna be going for 11, keep extending that record.
I'm excited to see what happens, man. Regardless of how some drivers enjoyed the track tonight and how some didn't, just reading some of these comments coming through here, it looks like a lot of these drivers may not have had the best time tonight. As for what it's worth, man, congratulations. If we didn't already congratulate you enough last week, we're going to congratulate you again on what has been a never-seen-before dominant performance, and we get to see it for one more week, man. We'll see you next week at Darlington. Oh, actually, no. How about Tuesday night? We're going to see you in the Indy cars at Iowa, aren't we?
Yep.
Going for 2 championships this season.
Yeah.
That's going for 2 championships this season. That's awesome. So, congratulations again on tonight's win, and we'll see you Tuesday night.
All right, thank you.
The fans at home, that's it. Back to the oval, and, same song, second verse. Noah Belleville comes and just destroys the field. 14.6 seconds the gap. I promise you the gap's not going to be, I hope to God the gap is not going to be that big Tuesday night in Iowa. But come have fun with us anyway. It's going to be a little less structured than this. We're going to have much more fun. It's going to be a short little shootout with the Indy cars at Iowa. I'm super excited. And then next Thursday, right here, Rick James TV, we say goodbye to Season 9 for Thursday Night Thunder, and it's going to be kind of the victory lap for Noah Belleville, and it might just be the last time you see him race a Gen 4 car for a very long time. Grandma Jeannie is in the chat talking about so proud of Noah, and she'll sure miss seeing him race next year. Tanner Lockhart also in the house cheering for Matt Seeger as well. Emily was in the house. Trauma in the chat cheering for Matt Seeger. A lot of fans in the chat tonight. Love to see it, and we genuinely can't do it without you. So thank you so much, and we hope to see you here Tuesday night for more racing. And until that next race, everybody, please stay safe. Do take